All systems go. Clear for liftoff.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the SHIPIT Nation MLB Quick Hit video for, Thursday, May 16th. We have a small little 5-game slate. We'll talk through it, talk through some pitchers, talk through some offenses in the goal of getting those SHIPIT Nation logos to the top of the leaderboard. That's what it's all about. And we're going to talk through it, see if we can help you here on this video. 2 things before we get started. Really appreciate the help in growing this channel, and you can continue doing that by hitting the like button and subscribe. Again, appreciate all the support. And then if you're not already a member, head on over to shipitnation.com and give us a try. We cover all the main sports over there: projections, ownership, core plays, rankings, pitcher rankings, hitter rankings, everything you need to be successful at DFS for fraction of the price compared to the competitors. So on the slate, we have 5 games like we talked about. 1 standout pitcher, Glass now, clearly the SP1. He's been phenomenal all season long. If you're just looking at fantasy output, you can see 37, 30, 32, 32, and gets a good home matchup here with Cincinnati. I just think he is a lock button play. Whether you're playing 3 lineups, 5 lineups, 10, 20, doing the 150, I want him on as many teams as possible. You look around at any projection site, and he's projected significantly higher than the competition. So it makes it relatively easy. Not easy, but it makes it easier when going through and building out your teams when you know one of these pitchers is essentially a lock. Now, after him, I think it gets a little more difficult. Jones for Pittsburgh has been really, really solid. He's shown the upside. 35 fantasy point game. He's got a 25, a 24, or 20. The strikeouts can be big. And, those games where he had the good fantasy outputs, obviously the strikeouts were there 10, 7, 7, 8 in terms of strikeouts, had a 10 earlier on in the year. So pretty good matchup here in Chicago. Little bit of rain projected here, but it's not going to be an issue. They're gonna be able to play this one. So I think he's a fine option if you can fit them both in there. I don't think it's too bad. 3,800 per spot. There's always a cheap guy, especially on these smaller slates or Thursdays. A lot of teams are leaving town after these games and kind of throw out a different lineup and you get some cheaper bats. So 3,800 per spot. If you go those 2, I think that's totally fine. Coming down a little bit more, Zach Little's a guy I'm interested in. Not as much upside, but the price is a little cheaper, and he's been more consistent. So I think he's fine at 84. Javier, a little bit of a risk coming off the injured list, and he got rocked against the Tigers, who their offense freaking sucks. I know because I'm a Tigers fan and unfortunately watched a lot of their games. So not a ton of interest in him. Steele at 73 has not had a great season. He was very solid last year, but man, it hasn't really shown much this year. Don't love him. Criswell at 6,800, I think, is a fine option. He's been very good in 4 straight starts, and then flashed the strikeout upside last time out against Washington with 9. So I think he's a strong option. Then the last guy I'd probably consider would be Taijuan Walker. Back-to-back solid starts here. Don't mind the matchup against the Mets. So Glass now for sure, lock button play for me. Jones would be the SB2 if you can make it work. If not Jones, probably would just go save some money and go to like Criswell or Walker. And then Little would probably be like the 5th guy I'd probably consider here tonight. If you do play one of these cheaper guys, like let's say you put in Walker, you're up to basically like $4,200 per roster spot. So no price here is prohibitive, I'd say, in terms of pitching. Glass now at 10.4 is too cheap, really, for the production that he's been putting out. So I'm be looking to start all my teams with Glass now. And then if I'm meeting, I'd probably mix in the other dudes, because I don't really have a strong take on anyone else. You get Jones, you got Little, Criswell, and Walker would be the 4 other guys think that's 4. Yeah, 4 other guys that I'd be looking at. So in terms of offense, you can see the games here at the top. We'll kind of talk through them. This Mets-Phillies game has a total of 8. Not a ton of interest on the Mets side. If I am playing Mets, it's just going to be their power guys. Look to Lindor, Alonso, maybe JD Martinez. Probably more of like 3-man stacks. On the Philly side, I want to target some of their righties. Bohm, Castellanos, I think is both solid options. Real Muto, I think is a solid option as well. Just got to see what these lineups kind of look at. But yeah, for Philadelphia, I'd be looking more at the righties. Tampa and Boston, not a ton of interest offensively. I'm kind of in on both these pitchers. I don't like either team for a full stack. If you want to, power hunt, look for some one-off guys with power, Rafael Devers, Rosarina. Sure, you can play those guys. But in terms of full stacks, not a ton of interest. Same thing in Pittsburgh and Chicago. It's a low total, lowest total, I believe, on the slate, sitting at 7.5. Both these pitchers, pretty good. I mean, if I'm going to go anywhere, it'd probably be on the Pittsburgh side. Steele hasn't been as good as he was in especially last year. I'll take a look at some of these Pittsburgh guys, but it's a low total. I mean, it's a low total and a low team total for Pittsburgh. So not a ton of interest in the Pittsburgh-Chicago game. Oakland, Houston, biggest total on the slate sitting at 9. Most of that is obviously on the Houston side. Their team total is right around 5.5. Be looking to play this whole lineup, top to bottom. Bregman's kind of broken out a little bit, had the 2 home run game a couple nights ago. Tucker's having a solid year as well. You can play this whole lineup. The lineup's obviously not out yet at this point, but when it does come out for MME purposes, you can play them all. 5-man stacks, 3-man stacks, individual plays. I think the sneaky team on this slate could be Oakland. People don't like playing this offense. People will consider playing Javier. I do have interest in Oakland. They'll be the sneaky stack that I'm kind of looking at here today. They have a lot of guys they mix in, so need the lineup. This is an 8-10 Eastern game, so we'll have it at lock, so you can kind of circle back and see who the guys are that we're interested in. And then the final game on the slate, Cincinnati, Los Angeles, not playing any Reds guys. Glass now, SP1, lock and load type play. Dodgers, definitely a fine option. Reds are kind of going with the starter and then to some long relief guys. So, it's an expensive team. If you're going Glass now and Jones, it might be a little difficult to get some of these main guys. But if you're going Glass now and one of the cheaper guys, you can definitely take advantage of this Dodgers offense. It's going to go Houston. It's going to go LA in terms of the way I rank these offenses. And then I'm going to say Oakland as kind of the sneaky type team tonight that I have interest in. And then, maybe some Philadelphia would be like the fourth way that I'd be looking to go here today. But it's only a 5-game slate, obviously. So not a ton of options. So that's kind of what we're looking at offensively. Kind of went through the pitchers. It's Glass now, and then, Jones, Little, Criswell, and Walker, kind of the 4 other guys. If you are MMEing, I'd be looking to kind of get exposure to all those other guys paired with Glass now. So that's kind of how I'm playing this one. Again, on the way out, if you haven't done so, please hit the like, hit the subscribe. We appreciate all your support. Make sure to get on over to SHIPITNation.com. We'll have all your needs over there, all projections, core plays, pitcher, hitter rankings for this slate. So make sure to get on over to SHIPITNation.com. Appreciate your support. Let's get those SHIPIT Nation logos to the top of the leaderboard.
All systems go. Clear for liftoff.